Is your goal to kind of just like do more things in the same industry, or what? Like,
Oh, I want to do everything,
okay,
every part of it inside of the entertainment industry. Every part of it. Casting. I'd love to do casting. It seems so much fun to me to be able to see what other people bring to the story and try to show you, and the different perspectives each one of them are going to have. I love that. Producing. I like the idea of producing. I don't have enough background, enough knowledge to really know what all goes along with it besides like putting up money. But I would love to learn more about that. I've been lucky enough to direct a few of my own things, so playing there. But man, going on a set and just moving lights around, moving wires around, running, getting coffee, that kind of stuff, just being involved in the industry, the creative industry, is something that screams to me. And it's something that if the more parts of the industry I can be involved in, the happier I am. Or let me say, the more satisfied I am. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's all of that. Acting is the main thing. That's what I like to do. It is probably at this point the most creatively satisfying. Writing, whenever I'm done, is incredibly creatively satisfying. Writing while I'm doing it is torture.
Yeah, it can be a struggle.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And because there's so much second guessing of how something should be said or how a particular scene should be structured, and it's exhausting, and it's one of those things that if I don't force myself to do it, then I'll just set it to the side and never do it. Mm-hmm. So I have to set up a very strict regimen. If I'm in writing mode, then I have to do a certain number of pages a day, and then I have to either write a certain number of pages or edit a certain number of pages every single day in order to continue that story going, or else I'll just get to a point where I'm just like, I don't get the auditions that are given to me, and I'll work on that for a while.
Okay, let's talk about this more then. Let's talk about writing mode.
Yeah,
because I like this, because I've never written anything like long. I guess I would say I like try to journal. I'm trying to write jokes right now, but I would like to one day, but I have heard, for authors, this is like their number one struggle is like, how do I just get myself to sit down and write? And so you mentioned when you're in writing mode, it takes a regiment. Mm-hmm. So what exactly does that look like?
So, and I don't want to put this out there, like I've written a whole bunch of stuff, right? It's a handful of shorts and a feature and a few episodes of a series, right? So that's pretty much what I've written. But so I'll give it for writing of Good Bones, right? It took me the writing of the final first draft of Good Bones took me almost a year to get that full feature all the way written. And the activity or the action that was required of me for that was every day I had to write 5 pages. Every day. It didn't matter the quality of the pages that I wrote. It didn't matter. But it was just sitting down, and at least 5 pages had to be written. However long that took me, those 5 pages had to be done. And once I got to a certain point, then it became I had to write 5 pages and I had to edit at least 3 pages. And so what that means is that I would write a section of new stuff, or I would go through and I would edit what I had already written and grab sections of it and just throw it away. Be willing to just let it go and then come back in and write until I had written back up to 5 total pages for that day. And some days I would throw out 20 pages after I'd gone through and be like, this whole scene doesn't make any sense, and just throw the whole thing away. And then sit down and try to figure out where my story's going, and this scene with these characters, why are they there? What's the point of this scene? Occasionally I'll throw a scene in that doesn't really have a whole lot of point. It's just something that I like the idea of the imagery of it, or I like the interactions that those people may be having. But from the grand arc of the story, it doesn't have a lot. It's just humanizing them, right? But yeah, it was, I would go out, I would find a quiet place, and I would sit down and put on my headphones and just start going. And until I reached that point, I wouldn't stop. Even if that meant sitting there staring at it for an hour and trying to figure out what it is I can do, I would go back and start from the beginning and read it all the way through, and then read it again, and then read it again. And each time I read it, I find something else, and I'm like, this part is extraneous, or oh, I need to explain, I've got this thing that's happening here, maybe this is a red herring that I'm pointing people in a different direction, and so let's see if we can't expand on that a little bit and build that part of the world out.